Hey there, LEGO fans, and welcome back. Alex here. In this video, we are going to be doing the ultimate comparison of the 1/8 scale LEGO Technic Hypercars because we've got the latest entry, the McLaren P1 that I got just here recently. A fantastic and solid entry to these wonderful hypercars that have been coming out once every 2 years since 2016, starting with the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. But let's go ahead and do this thing, guys. Let's go ahead and introduce these vehicles just in case you are not familiar with these. Back in 2016, we got the Porsche 911 GT3 RS that kicked this all off. 2 years later, in 2018, we got the Bugatti Chiron. And then during the lovely pandemic, we got the Lamborghini Sian in 2020. A couple years later in 2022, of course, we got the Ferrari Daytona SP3, and finally, the McLaren P1. So how I did this is I chose 10 categories that we can judge these off of and give them a scoring of 1 through 5. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. So a 50 would be a perfect score and a 10 is the worst score. This is according to Alex. Okay, just so you guys know, there's a lot of my own feelings and judgment and personal preferences with this comparison. So just in case your favorite one is like perhaps the worst out of my comparison, it doesn't mean it's really the worst. Or maybe it does. I don't know. Should I just claim that this is the ultimate comparison and whatever I say is the best and there's no dispute? I like that. Yeah, probably not. But you know what? We're going to do it anyway. Let's do this thing. I don't want this thing to be super crazy long. I want to get through this. So I'm not going to do a lot of explaining as to why I ranked them the way I did. I got an image here to go through all of my rankings here. So bear with me. Hopefully I can stick to this because I like to ramble. But let's go ahead and get started. So the first category is looks. They gotta look good. They gotta turn the head. Now, not only is this about how these vehicles look, but it's also about how well they represent the cars in reality. And in my opinion, the best one of that is the Lamborghini Sian, followed by the Bugatti Chiron, and then the Ferrari is the next on that list, followed by the McLaren P1, and unfortunately, the Porsche, in my opinion, is at the bottom of that list. All right, so that's looks. Number 2 is the hood and spoiler function, and also by extension, the ability to reveal the engine bay. So that's kind of like 3 things here. And again, really for me, it's going to be the Lamborghini. It does best in all of those right here because it's got an easy hood. It's got a really easy to remove cover for the engine, and the spoiler works flawlessly. So that is the best once again, followed by the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Some of you might be surprised by that, but in my opinion, it actually does really well in those categories. Next up is the McLaren P1 in the middle of the road. Then we have the Ferrari Daytona SP3 at number 4. And then at the bottom of this is going to be the Bugatti. I didn't like this. I mean, yeah, you can say, well, Alex, it doesn't have a compartment. You can just see right in it. You're not wrong. But for me, I just don't like that we have a key that we have to plug into it to lift the spoiler. That really annoyed me and it lost points. So there you go. So far, the Lamborghini's got a perfect score, you guys. Watch out. Woo. All right, the next one is interior. And it's about the interior of the Technicar, yes. But it's also about keeping it clean on the interior so you're not seeing a lot of, I don't know, jagged gears sticking out that way. If you're sitting in the seat, you're not going to get your leg cut off, right? So for me, the best one in that category was the Ferrari. I like the Ferrari the best. The next one was the Bugatti. And then the McLaren was in the middle of the road again in this category. Followed by the Lamborghini. Oh, the Lamborghini took a hit there, guys. It's not perfect anymore. And then the Porsche is at the bottom of that list. Sorry, it's got the number 1 again there. So that's 3 categories so far. The next one I have here is wheels, the wheel and tire package. Now, right off the bat, guys, I got to say that the Ferrari and the McLaren are going to be the best here because they benefit from the newer wheel package. So they have more realistic looking wheels, or at least the tires are, and they overlap the rim, which looks so much better. The Lamborghini and the Bugatti, the rim protrudes further than the tire, and it looks bad. I just don't like that. So for me, it's actually sequential. The best one is the McLaren, then the Ferrari, then the Lamborghini, then the Bugatti. then yes, the Porsche is actually last place again. Now, I would have given the Porsche the middle of the road on this one. I like the rims, I like the black look, but it's got those gray pins showing that kind of ruin it for me, so that's why it had to suffer a little bit in that category, again, according to Alex. So there you go. Next up is the doors. This has a lot to do with the functionality and coolness of it. And for me, hands down, is going to be the McLaren. These things are awesome. I love how they function. There's a lot of moving parts to it. The next one is going to be the Ferrari, as far as that goes. Then it's going to be the Lamborghini, and you're probably thinking, oh, Alex is just going sequential now, the newest to oldest, but no. For me, the Porsche does beat out the Bugatti in this category because it's got even though they open the same way, the Porsche does have some cool additional elements to make that work. So I thought that was cool. So that's why it beat out the Bugatti. That is 5 categories. So let's go ahead and do a check-in. Let's do a halfway check. So halfway, we have the Porsche 911 at 9 points. The Bugatti is next at 12 points. And get this, it's a 3-way tie with these 3 vehicles at 18. So halfway, 3-way tie. This is looking good. Going to be interesting, guys. All right, the gear shifts. This was important to me because these things have working gearboxes, and you can shift the gears up and down with shifters, and each one has one, a shift up. They're flappy panel gears, right? And this is a category that continued to improve in each of these vehicles. So yes, this is going to be sequential again. The McLaren, hands down, is just by far the best looking and functioning. Then it's the Ferrari, Lamborghini, Bugatti, and then the Porsche 911. So let's go ahead and continue to suspension. Suspension is important to me because, I mean, that's a big part of how these vehicles work. And it's all about the bouncing. Does it come back up? What elements are used? And this one, it looks like, for me anyway, the Ferrari was the absolute best as far as like suspension travel and just the looks of it. Now the McLaren and the Ferrari have the new suspension. Okay, so that's going to be, they're going to have the best. It's just how it is, guys. The newer ones benefit from the newer elements. It's how it is. So yes, the Ferrari, then the McLaren, but then the Porsche. I love the Porsche's bounciness. I thought they did a great job with that. Then it's the Lamborghini. So the Lamborghini is kind of taking a hit in that category. But the worst one by far, guys, is the Bugatti. They messed up on this one, and it's not right. It's just not fair. You push down on this thing, it doesn't even push back up. It's just too heavy for the suspension that they gave it, and it's a real shame because I think this would have been really cool if they had got that right. The next category is the one-hand grab. If you have any number of these, then lifting it up and taking it somewhere with one hand is very convenient, especially if you have a lot of these, or in my case, all of these, and you're moving them from one room to the other. The best one in this category, guys, is going to be the McLaren. This has a new element here at the front that really makes it easy and solid to carry this thing around. The next one is going to be the Lamborghini. The next one is going to be the Bugatti, because you can still lift it up here at the front. It's a little off center, though. The Porsche is a little different. You can't lift it up the front. You can, but you got to be very careful, but it will pull out of these Technic axles, but you have to lift it up at the back. It's a little awkward, but you can still do it. The only one that you cannot lift with just one hand is the Ferrari, at least not with some special handling. And that is because it's a convertible. This panel does lift off. It has a light kit in it, so I can't lift it off completely because there's a wire on it, but there's no way you're picking this thing up. You have to pick it up with 2 hands, so that gets last place out of the one-hand grab category. Next up is the Plaque. I might get some flack for the Plaque category because the first 2 didn't get a plaque. But I think having a plaque is kind of necessary for the scale and look and awesomeness of these vehicles. I mean, all the UCS sets get them too. So I think it's cool to have them in here. Now, the McLaren and the Ferrari are going to be number 1 and 2 because they have the printed plaques that are the 8x16 tiles. I gave the edge to the McLaren because it had more information on the plaque. So the Ferrari is number 2, the Lamborghini is number 3 because it simply had this little plaque with it. I actually gave the Porsche the number 4 position because it doesn't have one. So you're like, why did you make the Bugatti last place? And that's because it has a key thing to it. I don't know why this bugs me. It just does. Maybe people love this thing, but it's just one thing to keep track of, which the plaque is something to keep track of too, but it's part of the displayability of your supercar. Anyway, the last category, guys, this is the one that you don't have to worry about Alex skewing the numbers for you because it is factual. because it is price per pound. I thought it'd be great to end on this one because there's no way I can mess this up. I weigh these, just the car, just the vehicle. So we're weighing the plastic compared to the price of the vehicle. The best value out there for price per pound is going to be the Bugatti. The Bugatti finally won. It has not won a category yet until now. So it gets our perfect score of number 5. It was $350. This thing weighs 6.5 pounds. So that is $53.85 a pound. That is our best value, followed by the Porsche at $56.18 a pound. The next one is going to be the Lamborghini at $70.75 a pound. Then it's going to be the Ferrari, $73.41, and the McLaren P1 at $73.53. I will also mention that the Lamborghini was $380. That's what I bought it for. It went up in price because of inflation to $450. The Ferrari was $400 originally, went to $450. If I change these to their original price, they would still be in the same position. So a lot better value, but they wouldn't switch around. So after all that, after all those 10 categories, and I know there's probably a lot of other categories we can do, guys. We could do boxes, we could do instructions, we could do the darn bag that's inside of these things. There's a lot of different categories we can do, but I didn't want this to get too crazy long. So those are my 10 categories, take it or leave it. After all of those, after we add them all up, here, I'm not going to say the winner, I'm going to give you guys the numbers. So starting at the bottom, we had 21, then 24. 33, 34, and 38. So there's a clear winner. We had a very close second and third place there. But the one at the bottom, I think we all know it. It's going to be the Porsche. So the Porsche was, 21, and then the Bugatti ended up at 24. The Lamborghini got the 33, was edged out by the Ferrari by just 1 point, and then it was the McLaren at 38. So wait a minute, hold on a second here. All we've established is that the best is the newest, and so on. That's it. So, I don't know, guys. I will say this, that we could probably give the Porsche and the Bugatti an extra 10 points just because they suffer from, they're a little older. They didn't have the advantage of some of the cooler new elements and techniques used with these newer vehicles. So, keep that in mind. But it's just for fun, you guys. But I'll tell you this. Here's my ranking. Here's the Alex ranking without looking at all those categories. When I look at these, I go, what is my favorite? It's tough because I love them all. Don't get me wrong. Just because one's number 5 doesn't mean I don't like it. But my favorite is the Lamborghini. And I think that's going to be the favorite for a lot of people. I think it's either going to be the Ferrari or Lamborghini are going to be people's favorites. But if I had to rank these myself, I would say Lamborghini, McLaren. I do love this. This thing's awesome. Then I would go to the Porsche, actually. That's number 3. Then the Ferrari, and then the Bugatti. Love the Bugatti. It's great, but all these other ones edge it out a little bit more. But that's what it is, guys. But I do want to know what you guys think. So let me know what your ranking is in the comment section below. Give me your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And also, let me know what you think of the 6th installment. What should that be? I'm thinking either a Pagani or a Koenigsegg. Did I say? I butchered it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm trying to say. I probably butchered some of these already, so I'm sure the hypercar enthusiasts out there are going to correct me in the comments, so it's all right. I'm used to getting corrected all the time. I'm married, okay? I get corrected a lot. But yeah, please let me know, guys. Thanks for watching this ultimate comparison of the 1/8 scale LEGO Technic Supercars. I love these things. Looking forward to in 2 years when we get our 6th one, and I need a bigger table, so look forward to that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.